Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel, and today I want to discuss supply drops, and believe it or not, why supply drops themselves were actually good when used correctly. Now, before you start spamming dislikes on the video and writing me your essays down in the comments, let me start by saying that the randomized aspect of supply drops and the locking of DLC weapons and stat-changing weapon variants within supply drops was an absolute abomination, and it was one of the worst things to have ever happened to the Call of Duty franchise. Supply drops are dead and gone, and I'm happy that they are dead and gone, but with the death of supply drops, so went another system that was actually pretty damn good, and it's a system that I think Treyarch needs to resurrect within Black Ops Cold War, and every other developer needs to implement in their games going forward. The system I'm talking about is the system that Treyarch sneakily implemented at the very end of the Black Ops 4 lifecycle. Basically, when Modern Warfare 2019 came out, they updated the black market in Black Ops 4 with this system, and it was actually pretty good given how bad supply drops were in Black Ops 4 and how bad monetization models were within Black Ops 4. What was interesting about this system is instead of opening your supply drops and praying that something good was inside, you could instead stockpile your supply drops and then trade them in for a weapon of your choice. It would cost 50 supply drops, but you could purchase any DLC weapon or any weapon variant within Black Ops 4, and there were tons of daily contracts as well as battle pass tiers that would allow you to accelerate the speed at which you earned supply drops. First and foremost, you had daily challenges, right? These were implemented into Black Ops Cold War, but they only reward experience here, and that experience is pretty much wasted since there isn't a proper prestige system within this game. Going back to Black Ops 4, however, these daily challenges would award you a little bit of experience, but also certain challenges, or contracts as they were known, would reward you with supply drops. And keep in mind, these challenges changed daily across multiplayer, the Blackout Battle Royale game mode, as well as the Zombies game mode. This meant that every day, if you actually cared about Black Ops 4, and if you actually wanted to get all the DLC weapons, you would sign in, play some multiplayer, maybe play some Blackout, or maybe play some Zombies, because every day you had these new challenges, and they would award you supply drops, which you could save up to acquire DLC content, and that DLC content was the stuff that you actually wanted. You literally chose what you wanted to get, with no randomness involved whatsoever. You then had the Battle Pass. The final Battle Pass for Black Ops 4 only had 50 tiers, which is whatever, but every tier after 50 awarded you another supply drop. This meant that you wanted to get your daily tier skip for playing multiplayer, as well as your daily tier skip for playing zombies every single day, and while doing your daily challenges, you were also making passive progress towards your next battle pass tier with your playtime. This meant that Black Ops 4 always gave you that feeling of constant progression on top of the traditional progression systems in the form of Prestige Mode, Dark Matter, and 100%er. Whether I was playing multiplayer, Blackout, or Zombies, I always felt like I was working towards something, and that was a really great feeling, and that's something that I feel as though absolutely needs to come to Black Ops Cold War. Now look, I'm not asking for supply drops to return. Don't try to twist what I'm saying here. Supply drops themselves are one of, if not the worst thing to ever happen to Call of Duty and gaming in general. However, if you replace the supply drop from Black Ops 4 with a new currency, then this system works perfectly. If you weren't opening your supply drops in Black Ops 4 and instead you were just saving them to trade in, then all those supply drops were just a currency anyway. So in Black Ops Cold War, all they would need to do to implement this system is come up with a new currency name, a new currency icon, and then we would basically be set. What would we do with this currency, you may ask? Well, the idea is to make it so we can actually buy things from the shop without needing to spend actual money. I did a quick look at the shop that is available to me here today, and in here, not counting of course all the $10 CDL bundles, there are 25,500 COD points worth of bundles right here on your screen right now, and that is just in my shop alone. 25,500 COD points will cost you somewhere over $250 to actually purchase, which is absolutely insane, especially considering that new bundles are being added to the shop all the time, and the fact that the shop doesn't even show you everything that is currently available. To do that, you need to go to your create class, click on a weapon, and then it will show you what bundles are available for that weapon, even if they aren't currently showing up within your shop. Basically, there are tons and tons and tons of bundles available here in Black Black Ops Cold War, and I wouldn't be surprised whatsoever if there was something like $750 to $1,000 worth of bundles already available within the game, even though the game is only 3 months old, and right now anyway, the only way to earn these bundles is to not earn them whatsoever and rather spend your real-life cash. It would be much better for the overall player base, in my opinion, if they added the Black Ops 4 system in the Black Ops Cold War, where every day we could log in, do our daily challenges in multiplayer, Warzone, and zombies, and through those challenges earn a new currency, which we could use to purchase things within the shop. Now, you may be thinking that this is an absolute impossibility given the greedy nature of Activision, but remember that a system like this only existed in Black Ops 4 to begin with because of player retention. Player retention is a huge metric for publishers across the board. They talk about them all the time during their earnings calls as well as their investor reports, and I wholeheartedly feel like a system like this would increase player retention numbers even more, because a lot of us would have that urge to sign in every day and do our daily contracts in multiplayer, zombies, and even in Warzone. Even if we didn't really feel like playing the game that day, we would have that urge thinking, you know what, it would only take like 20 minutes. I could probably knock out 2 or 3 contracts in those 20 minutes, or, you know, maybe while dinner's cooking, like, you know, I could probably jump into zombies real quick, knock out a quick contract while my dinner's cooking. Like, things like that are going to make you want to play the game even more, which overall is a good thing for the player base as well as Activision, Treyarch, Infinity Ward, so on and so forth. So I feel as though a system like this would be good for pretty much everybody involved. There's a reason why a system like this has been featured in games for decades now. The idea of a daily challenge or a daily contract is not a new or original one, but the daily challenges that we have right now are pretty lame. It would be much better if our daily challenges gave actual tangible rewards as compared to a small bit of experience in a game that doesn't even have a proper prestige mode. It would also be nice for the Battle Pass to update so that every tier after you complete the Battle Pass would give you one piece of this new currency, just like we saw back with Black Ops 4. Now, while I love the idea of the Battle Pass, and I think that overall it's a great system for the franchise, once you're done with the Battle Pass, especially here in Black Ops Cold War, the feeling you're left with is a pretty lame one. I don't know about you guys, but my Battle Pass has been done for like 2 months or so, and I've pretty much completely forgotten about it at this point. If the Black Ops 4 system were to be implemented, then I think the Battle Pass would be much more interesting, because not only would you want to get through the entire Battle Pass, but every tier after you get done with the Battle Pass would give you more of this new currency, which you could save up to purchase the things that you actually want directly from the shop. I feel as though a system like this would make the game much more enjoyable for players overall, and it would give so much more replay value to the game for the people who feel burnt out. No doubt tons of you guys are feeling burnt out right now because we're currently in the down period. Season 1 has kind of been bleh for a long time now. Of course, the new Zombies map is pretty cool and it's nice to have expressed, but overall, Season 1 was pretty lame here in Black Ops Cold War. We're definitely in a down period right now, and we're basically just waiting for Season 2. Well, a time period like this is going to happen many times throughout the rest of the Black Ops Cold War life cycle, and time periods like this would be much more enjoyable if we had things like this to actually work towards, if we had this currency for us to grind for every single day to acquire new things that we actually want within the shop. I don't know, guys. I mean, I had this idea the other day. I was thinking about Black Ops 4, specifically thinking about Blackout and how much I miss playing Blackout, and then the idea came to me, how good that system was, how much I enjoyed that system, and how even after Black Ops 4 was finished and Modern Warfare came out, and then subsequently I decided I hated Modern Warfare and then went back to playing Black Ops 4, I realized how much enjoyment I got out of this very simple system. Even though the game was basically 2 years old at that point, I was still playing it pretty much every single day because I wanted to acquire every single DLC weapon that was available, and I liked the idea of having this thing to go for every single day. I would sign in, I would look at my contracts that were available in multiplayer, I would check out the ones in Blackout, I would check out the ones in Zombies, I would get my daily tier skip in multiplayer, I would then go to Zombies and get to round 20 on whatever map they told me to get to round 20 on, and get my second tier skip from Zombies, and then maybe go play Blackout for a while and trying to get that pesky Reznov skin. You know, it was something that made me want to play the game every single day, despite the fact that I had already played it for basically 2 years. I was already Prestige Master, I already had Dark Matter, you know, I already did 100%er, I did pretty much everything there was to do in that game, yet this very simple system made me want to keep signing in every single day. It definitely increased my player retention as a consumer, and I feel as though it would also increase the player retention of pretty much everybody else as well within Black Ops Cold War and potentially all future Call of Duty games going forward, should a system like this actually be implemented. Now, of course, the nuts and bolts surrounding this would be pretty tricky to figure out. I wonder exactly how, if Activision were to implement this system, how exactly they would go about it. Would they make it so we need an obscene amount of this new currency to get something that's the equivalent of a $10 bundle within the shop, or would they make it somewhat fair? Probably not, knowing Activision, but I do feel as though, honestly, I truly believe that a system like this could be implemented into Black Ops Cold War and potentially future Call of Duty games as well. I feel as though the system that we saw back in Black Ops 4 was more of them testing the waters with that system, and who knows what they thought of it, who knows what their metrics actually show, but from my perspective, as a player and as somebody who cares about the franchise and wants what's best for the franchise and wants to make everybody that plays the game as happy as possible, I feel as though a system like this would actually be very good for the series. But of course, time will tell. We have no idea if it's ever actually going to be implemented, but I wanted to discuss it with you guys here today. Now, like I mentioned earlier, Season 2 is pretty close to launching at the time of this video being recorded, and so chances are, over the course of the coming days, we're going to learn a lot more about Season 2 and Black Ops Cold War's future going forward. So as always, I will be here with you guys every step of the way as we learn more and as we continue to progress throughout the life cycle of Black Ops Cold War. But for right now, I'm going to wrap up today's video. I hope you guys all enjoyed it. If you did, consider leaving a like, leave your thoughts and feedback down in the comments, and I hope you guys all have a wonderful day.